But controversy arose today out of nowhere. Ronda Rousey's been really trashing WWE as of late. She trashed UFC kind of and rubbed people the wrong way on her way out as well. But what happened was she's been really calling out like Bruce Pritchard and stuff, because I think Bruce Pritchard is basically, he probably knows more. He doesn't participate, but it sounds like he knows at least more than has been let on or whatever. But Rousey's been trashing WWE and the culture there. Now Vince is gone and it's not the culture there anymore. So this is sad that she's doing this, man. But it's also, I don't know. Let's just listen. She's on Fox News Nation, or is this Fox News? I don't know. This is News Nation. Pardon me, not Fox whatsoever. This is just News Nation. My apologies. And here's her talking about how people are held hostage there, and then she makes some allegations that are actually quite serious. These people have been trending all day that involve Drew Gulak. So let's, of all people, which is crazy. So let's listen to this clip of her bringing up the Vince allegations here, or pardon me, commenting on them.
Well, it's not surprising, and I can tell you the reason why nobody else is speaking out is because they know that there will be negative repercussions if they say anything about the company that the company doesn't like, and so everybody's being held hostage by their careers. But since I don't plan on going back,
I just disagree with that, man. I just disagree with that, dude. Like held hostage by their careers? Oh my goodness. But yeah, let's hear what she has to say here.
There, unless they make some very major changes. I, feel free to say whatever I want to say, which, I've always felt that way. I don't really, I don't really care if they have me back or not. I can wrestle wherever I want to wrestle. And,
you can't wrestle.
Well, it's not surprising. And I
remember when when she did the indie date, and then all the marks were like, look at her really wrestling, because that girl like suplexed her on her neck by accident. And it's like, you guys are fucking marks. But yeah, dude, so Hairline's taking shots there at her. Sorry about that. I was getting phone calls and shit. So here, and then here's where, so that's kind of her just saying, oh, everyone's being held hostage. I don't agree. I think times are different. Now they got
they are different. How, dude, she just said they're gonna have to make some real changes if they ever have me back, and it's all like, okay, first off, those changes have been made. Do you not pay attention to the product? God.
Right, and then and that's what I gotta say. There's then you got fucking Triple H on this picture here, and it's just like, come on, now he's getting dragged. It's so unfortunate Vince did this garbage. And then it's unfortunate that Ronda's whipping out a story like this. Now, this was crazy. This was crazy to me. So let's just play this. So basically and look at Donald Trump killing everyone, dude, in New York. How about that, Hairline? What do you think about that? You've resided in Buffalo for a while. Should we get political?
I think my country's fucked no matter what.
Oh man, here we go. So
same here.
Bruce Pritchard and another one of the writers, and God, I forgot his name. I can't believe I forgot this guy's name. It'll come back to me. But I was standing there, and this guy that I was like barely an acquaintance with grabs the string of like my sweatpants as I'm walking by, and like nobody, like I wasn't even looking at him, and I looked down the hall, and I was like, I don't know if I can swear on this. Are you gonna bleep me? It's a quote, okay? But this guy grabs the string of my sweatpants, and nobody else reacts as if this is abnormal. And he grabs it and he starts going down the hall, and I'm just like, what the was that? Like, why are you grabbing the string of my sweatpants? If my husband was standing here next to me, would you feel comfortable like walking up to me and grabbing the string of my sweatpants?
And that's the thing. Her husband is Travis Brown, who was like one of the premier heavyweights in the world at one point in mixed martial arts, and he would fucking kill Drew Gulak in a matter of seconds. So it's like, exactly. So I tweeted something out about this. This is very goofy. if true, on Drew Gulak's part.
Sweatpants, and but. And nobody around me acted like as if it was abnormal. Like they're like all the guys around me were just like, this is part of the day. And I'm like, if this guy is coming up to me and doing this kind of stuff to me when there's other people around, like what's happening to these other girls when it's not in a hallway or something like that. So that really put me on an edge to like, not only is this like behavior prevalent, but it's so prevalent that people don't even realize it's a problem anymore.
Who was this guy?
Dude, I swear to God, I know exactly what he looks like. And I completely am blanking on his name. Is this part of my concussion test? Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak. That's who it was.
Drew Gulak. And then they had a picture of him just right away. So Drew Gulak comes up to her, pulls the string of her thing, of her sweatpants, which is like, okay, we're going to talk about this.
Yes. Yeah, I went and confronted him later, and I was like, if I ever hear about you putting like your hands on any other woman like this or doing anything like this to me ever again, we're going to have I'm editing myself all the swear words out, but we're going to have a problem. And he was like, no, I'm glad that you said something to me. He's really like backpedaled and everything like that. But it just put a really sour taste in my mouth about the culture there and what's considered acceptable and how to touch and treat the women in the hallways and anywhere, but backstage.
Yeah, I bet it.
So people are like, oh, what's Drew Gulak's side? So we have his side. He put a tweet out, and then we'll give our comments on this. At Drew Gulak tweets out, backstage at a WWE event in 2022, I saw Ronda talking with a group in the hallway. I stopped to say hi and shake all their hands. And in an attempt to shake her hand, I accidentally touched her drawstring. Complete accident, and one that I had apologized to her for the mishap. Hairline's laughing. Now, so to me, I mean, that sounds like bullshit. How do you go to shake someone's hand and then you accidentally pull the drawstring? Now, I tweeted out, I X'd out rather, like, okay, should he be canceled? Is this like a cancelable offense?
No one should get canceled.
No. Right. Is this like a perverted weird thing? No. What I feel like is it's just classless because I'm sure he knows she's married. Right. And it just seems very like, how old is he? Like in his 30s? Like how old is she? That just seems very like a high school way to flirt or haze or be jovial. Now, again, locker room shit is different. But also when you're doing a co-ed locker room situation where there might be females around a lot of the males, you have to be weary of those sort of things. Maybe that's how he jokes with other female talent who might be younger than Ronda and not like crazy aggro chicks who could punch the fuck out of 90% of most guys. But my thought is just like, I was just like, yeah, he should be fined or warned, but this isn't like a cancelable thing. It's just very it's just tasteless to do to a married woman. And then his excuse, I think, just makes him look like a fucking idiot. He should have just been like, I was just fucking around, like it's hazing, whatever. I should have, it's my bad. It is goofy. It's goofy to do that to a married woman. I should have known better. I thought I was being flirty, and that's not cool. I apologize to her husband or whatever. Right. And that's my opinion on it. But man, some people are taking it to like, this is like a Me Too offense. Like, it's not that intense, man. This isn't like some Vince shit. But it is such a bad look, Drew. God damn it. You know what I mean? This is all the little things like this are going to come up now. Not saying that this is little and this shit should be swept under the rug. The important things should be made big deals out of. But unfortunately, I feel like this is a minor thing that Ronda handled. She chilled it. She went up to him and was like, fuck you. Don't do that. Would you do that if my husband was here? Like, if I catch you doing that shit again, we're going to have a problem. He apologized. She handled that. Luckily, she's a big star and has a platform to where this, but unluckily for, I guess, WWE and Drew Gulak, this is being blown up way bigger than it would be otherwise because she is Ronda Rousey. So my opinion is don't cancel him, but definitely a warning or a suspension, maybe a little fine, something like that. But I don't think this was like anything. This wasn't like a malicious attack or anything out of line as far as if you're all in the PC, like, I don't know, man, dudes do like borderline sus shit in locker rooms and stuff, you know, but I'm not saying you do that with the women, but I'm just saying it's I don't think this is like in the same vein as anything Vince or a Me Too or anything like that. It's just tasteless that he would do that to someone. He obviously knows who Travis Brown is, right? Like Gulak is considered a bit of a shooter. So he obviously knows who Travis Brown is and knows that Ronda's married. How could you not? And it's like, that's just disrespect. You know what I mean? So yeah, sorry, your guys' thoughts. I basically rambled and got us canceled right there. So I got us canceled, but
So my take on it is that I'm very uncomfortable talking about such things for a number of reasons. Number one is that I wasn't there. So I don't know what happened. So I don't really have the right to an opinion on it. Secondly, my personal preference is that these things should always be handled privately, unless it hits a threshold where there's clearly criminal activity involved. And if there's criminal activity involved, you don't go to the press first, you go to the police. Then what you do is that you let due process play its role, like we should also be doing with the Vince McMahon stuff. I'm not defending Vince in any way, but
some of that was
legal
borderline
process,
criminal. Some of that was borderline criminal,
and
right?
he is currently under federal investigation. They have his phone. So the due course, if the system is supposed to work, I mean, I've watched enough Law and Order to know it does, apparently. And, you know, you have to let the due process play out. And we can all have our opinions on it, etc. But again, we're casting aspersions and opinions on things that we didn't witness with people that we don't know, and we don't know who the various players are, and we don't know what their agendas are. So it's very, very difficult for me to have a hard and fast opinion. What I do find disappointing is that this has been aired out in public by Ronda in such a way, because it's not absolutely rocket science to see that she's got a book that she's trying to promote at the moment. So
does she have a book?
She obviously has a book that's coming out. So there's been several feature the excerpts of what she was saying around, like, you know, that line last week around WWE running shows in parts of the world that oppress women in the same way Vince McMahon wishes he could. You know, things like that. They're excerpts from her book. There was a giant feature excerpt from the book in The Guardian on the weekend where they were talking about her fears around CTE and dementia, because there's a history of Alzheimer's in her family, and she has that medical history and genetic predisposition towards it, and she's decided to go and get dropped on her head and punched in the face for a living. So, you know, that is the more interesting aspect of it. So again, I'm not trying to downplay it. I'm not trying to say it's an awful thing. I genuinely don't know. I literally was not there to witness it, so I can't have an opinion on it. But I just find it slightly in bad taste that rather than go to the authorities, if it was so bad and it made you feel so terrible and that kind of thing, you decide to bring this up now in the midst of various other things, and you just happen to be on a press tour to promote a book. So, you know, again, not downplaying it in any way. I'm going to be really, really clear on this. Again, due process should be allowed to be played out. And one thing I do not sign up to is people being prosecuted in the court of public opinion, because, you know, Elon keeps talking about Twitter being the public, you know, the public square, right, of the internet. Yeah, but what used to happen in a public square a few hundred years ago, mate? People used to get like lynched and like stoned to death and hung, and there was public executions.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm not into this in any way, shape, or form. It really makes me feel very I like touchy and very nervous in a lot of different ways, and I try and stay a million miles away from it as far as
I like how you made that distinction, though, and I thank you for that, Paul Nolan, for the distinction of like criminal activity. Pulling a string is not criminal. I guess that's more what I was trying to say. Fuck all the cancel culture nonsense I'm talking. That's more or less what I was trying to say. It's not criminal. We can't put it at the same as like a Vince or a Harvey Weinstein. This is like, it was just tasteless. It's not But exactly, it's weird to let it play out like in public. I agree with that, and I had no idea that she had a book coming out. Hairline, your thoughts on all that?
Kind of sounds like she's working, don't it? What?
So why Drew? Why'd she just go after him like that?
No,
Like
not.
she
I
just
don't mean
thinks,
it like that. Like, not necessarily like the Drew part, but like it sounds like she's just trying to sell the sizzle for her book. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
Like,
absolutely that. But like, let's say do you think she's the type? This is what it boils down to. Do you guys think she's the type to blow it out of proportion? Why would she throw Drew Gulak, potentially ruin his life?
dude, that's okay. You as the UFC mark, isn't this the same girl that lost whatever match and then like went on social media and was all like, "I'm gonna kill myself"
In
right?
Minecraft? Yeah.
Right, Minecraft.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, no, she said it on like a talk show.
Oh,
You
okay.
know.
My bad. Yeah, fill me in here, Phil.
Well, it's just what you said. Like she just. I don't know though. I feel like she's I never thought she'd be the type to do this unless maybe it really did. I feel like this was a real incident that made her feel uncomfortable, but she's choosing to bring it up now for the book now that you shed that light on that. But I'm not trying to undermine any experiences she had. Anyways, it's like Paul said, I don't even want to talk about this more. It's weird. And I don't know, man. I had no idea she had a book. You know, all I knew is Becky Lynch had a book. So